Hey y'all, Dr. Burrell here, Spring Chiropractic. Today I'm doing a review on the phone. My phone is Kyocera Brigadier, and I've had it for about 2.5 years. I just got a new one, because the other one had started getting a little rough around the edges. But I'd like to go over how the other one held up and what I've learned along the way. So, I had it for about 2.5 years. I'm pretty rough on the phone. Things that broke on it was the flash. I had a jack stand, and the jack stand fell over, and it literally fell right on the screen. And the flash is what broke. The screen was just fine. I've never had any problems with the screen. I keep a screen protector on it. So let's see. Another thing that broke was the volume buttons on the side. They stopped working as well. I could usually hit up and then I can swipe down for the down. I went probably a year or so with that. Another thing that broke was the cover for the power. This just broke off one night. And that's when I started looking at the wireless charging too, because sticking this in here and it gets bent or anything like that, it's tough on that. Let's see, so the flash, the buttons, yeah, that's pretty much it. It held up pretty well. One other thing you want to look at is this screen gets a little scratched up, and then it's hard to take good pictures. So there's that. So I had this case on it the whole time. The number on it is 05699. It's a standard one that we got at the Verizon store, and it came with the kickstand. It came with the holster, so you could put it on your belt. I wasn't a big fan of the holster belt thing. I just kept it in this. As you can see, there's not much for protection that this case offers with this alone. So it snaps in here like that. This part broke off. This broke out. For the access for the lanyard. But there's no protection at all for the power button or the covers. When you're looking at the cases, there's probably about 3 things that I look at: is protection from shock, dropping it. There's protection from scratches, and protection from all the dirt and the grime. This case really doesn't have any of those values to it. So I started looking at other cases when I got the new phone. The first one I got was this one by Pure Gear. It's called a DualTek, and I see some people writing reviews on it. It was about $12 or so, I think, on Amazon, and a lot of people say these rubber stoppers fall out. And when I got it, it looked like it would too. So what I did was a little preventative work. I put some super glue around all 4 of the stoppers. And I've had this case for about 2 weeks, and they haven't came out. They haven't gotten loose yet. Putting it in, installing it is pretty easy. It just goes in like that. It's a little tougher than this, of course, but it doesn't feel like it's going to come out on its own. Getting to the buttons, like the volume, is a little tougher. Power button up here, up and down. It still works. It's just harder to get to. This phone, it's also very thick. It doesn't fit in your pocket very well. And don't put it in your back pocket and sit, especially coming from a chiropractor. So it does good for impact, drops, all that stuff. Scratches it's also good for, because it's got this big seam that goes across the top of it. So I can drag it over this. I can drag it like this, and I don't have to worry about scratching up the bottom. This phone, it takes a lot of the abuse off of the phone itself. However, size, this is white. There was a black one, but I think they were out of stock at the time. So white, obviously it looks dirtier. If you get it dirty, you get it scratched. Those are downsides to it. You could mount one of the little holders. I see people, with the thing that suctions out, but then it'd be even thicker and completely impossible to put in your pocket. Getting to these covers is a challenge. with this case on, especially if you're going at the wrong side. And I'm kind of worried that it would break off. Having the cover fall off on the old phone was actually pretty sad, because then it didn't feel as secure. But that's when I started going to the wireless charging. And I noticed when I brought the wireless charger on, this one, it does still charge wirelessly. There it goes. However, it's very picky about the positioning. You have to position it just right, and if it moves a little bit, it'll stop charging. So there's that. Also, it doesn't cover up any of the speaker holes. I'd like if it did, because then it would prevent dirt and stuff from getting in here. And once the dirt and the grime starts getting in the speaker holes, it cuts down on the volume and you can't hear it as well. So overall, I am very happy with this phone. I paid about $12 for it, but I was interested in looking at a different case. So that's when I got this TurtleArmor one. I've had this one for about a couple days, and it seems to be working pretty good. It's the 2-piece, so it sandwiches in here. Obviously, there's no impact protection. However, it is still better than the first one. It also comes with a cool design on it, so that was definitely a plus. It smelled a little bit at first, but it doesn't smell anymore. I know some people were saying that it smells really bad. I didn't really think it was a deal breaker at all. So here's it installed. You just put that on there, and then this snaps in. Just go around, and there we go. It fits the Brigadier just fine. I doubt it probably would fit the other one. What is it, Duraforce? I would look for a Duraforce case. This one, it covers up the holes, which is a plus. It still covers the top of the screen from scratches all along. It gives a little bit of protection for the top buttons. Not all of it is protected, but it is a lot easier to get to the headphone jack, which is good, because I like to use that for the aux in the car. Charging, if I need to charge wirelessly, I can get to this easy. I'm going to probably stick with wireless charging though for a while. Get into these buttons, these are uncovered, so they're probably going to get scratched and they're probably going to get banged up pretty easily, but you know, I want to try this case out for a couple months. This design, it's just paint. It's probably going to get scratched. It's probably going to start looking pretty bad. So, but I paid about $8 or $9 for this case. It charges a lot easier, which is a plus. There it goes. And you know, I think I should be able to get at least a couple months out of it before it breaks, before these pieces stop snapping together. But overall, it's definitely a step up from this. When it comes to protection, if you're going to be outside, if you're going to be doing a lot of work, I'd recommend this case, probably in black, the Duraforce Pure Gear. Also, looking at the back side, you got protection for the camera. This one obviously offers the most. You know, if you want to try preventing this lens from getting scratched, you know, this sets it back farther, and it's got a deeper well to it. This one has a bit of a well, but it's not, you know, super much, but hey, it keeps the phone pretty thin. It also gets in and out of the pocket pretty well, so that's definitely a plus. You also can hook up your lanyard, your little hanging wristband, so that works too. But overall, I'm happy with this one. We'll see how it holds up, and that's it.